What's going on, everybody? Kman and Gorbachev here for NFL Week 9's line guesses. Let's get it, Kman.
Yeah, we're here in New York on whatever it is.
On a
Wednesday.
wet-soaked Wednesday.
Yeah,
Happy Halloween.
After a nice
Surviving Hurricane Sandy.
Yep.
She left Kman here a little bit homeless and without power, but we can work around that.
Yeah, just a rough few days for the Kman household. Really struggling over there.
Look, it happens to the best of us, I would say.
Yeah, I'm loving the Gorbachev Palace right now, though.
Gorbachev Palace is nice and inviting to all who seek refuge. So let's take a look at what we had a pretty interesting week of football, I would say.
Yeah, that Giants-Cowboys game really ended the main games, the 4 o'clocks. So was real interesting.
I was watching that game, and about 10 minutes left in the third quarter. I was just... Did you see Jason Garrett just call that going for it in 4th and goal?
He finally made some good play calls.
They got the touchdown. They were only down by 10 with 9 minutes left in the third. A lot of football to be played. I don't know why he went for it there. I would have just settled for the field goal.
I really like it. I mean,
but if he's going to play that type of game, I respect that.
Yeah, I mean, he's been criticized a lot for his coaching decisions, specifically time management, obviously. And I mean, he made some big play calls and paid off, and he did a good job. And obviously, the Cowboys did their usual choke job.
Self-implosion, yeah.
I'm glad though. I had the Giants, and I mean, obviously after the first quarter and even a little into the second, I was like, all right, I'm done. Like, this game's over. I'm going to do something else.
Right.
But I kept watching, and by halftime, I was convinced the Giants were going to lose. Like, already, even when they still had that lead, like the Cowboys were just completely dominating them in every aspect, and it carried over immediately in the second half. And I just sitting there like, oh, please somehow pull this out. Like, I thought they were done, but I guess that 23-point cushion to start really helped them, huh?
It was a hell of a game.
It definitely was. One of the better ones of the year, I'd say. Especially with that hand, is out by a half inch, like a fingertip. Like that's one of the crazier games. Obviously, there've been some crazy games this year.
Didn't it also look like the refs just were doing everything in their power to make it as close a game as
they were trying to help the Cowboys so much.
So obvious.
I'm watching the game in throwing a fit, obviously, furious about the game, how it's going, and I'm watching the clock, and the Cowboys would hike the ball, and the clock wouldn't start until a second or two later. This is when there's every second counts with 20 seconds left, and then they ran a 10-15 yard play and got at 2 seconds off. And
I'm ridiculous.
I'm looking at it they're stopping the clock early and starting it late. I'm just furious. I'm screaming at the TV, cursing ugh.
I don't think the games are fixed, but I definitely think the refs were trying to keep it as close as they could.
Yeah,
you know?
It seemed like
whether Vegas had an effect on that, or
it also seemed like the the time management people, since they're the Cowboys stadium, it seemed like they were biased towards the home team there. I mean, I don't know. Maybe I was just overreacting because I was just freaking out about the game. But that's what I was yelling about that for the last I guess minute of the game.
You know what else happened? I tried playing the Storm and took a bunch of unders. And the 1 o'clock. It went 2-2. So I thought Sandy didn't come till the next day.
Dude, I told you though. No, the one thing I was telling you, we talked about this a little before, and the one thing I was saying is Pittsburgh was a little too west to even be that affected by the Storm. And I think that was one of the ones that lost.
No,
right?
Pittsburgh actually won.
Didn't they kill them?
The Jets game went over.
Wait, didn't Pittsburgh what was the score?
Pittsburgh Washington went under. It was a high number. It was 4 in the 40s.
Oh, because I remember Pittsburgh was up pretty big.
The Eagles Falcons game went over. That was in Philly, which should have gotten some more wind and rain. That went over, and the Jets game went over because I got a bad number. Could have got it at 40, but it ended at 39.
And that
I had
30
and a half.
Is that the difference?
Yep, that was the difference.
Yeah, that's.
So it should have been 3-1 if I got the better number.
I can't believe the Pittsburgh one lost. I could have sworn that was
No, they scored. They didn't score at all the second half.
I know, but I think Washington had a garbage field goal.
It was 21-12 or something.
I thought Pittsburgh 27-12. Yeah, Washington just really didn't show up, I guess.
Look at that second half.
Yeah,
13 points did it on.
Yeah, because I remember it was really high scoring in the beginning. So yeah, I guess they settled down. Any other games memorable
I
games.
guess the Rams didn't really hold their own in London.
I mean,
So
I always
they
assume,
look good in the first possession. They scored
well,
a touchdown, 50-yarder to Chris
that
Gibbons,
yeah,
and
that's
then
the Patriots' weakness. They
and
give
that
up
was
the long
it.
play.
And that was it.
Yeah. But I'm every week I'm just like the Patriots. I'm on the page or like I'm like I've tried to like lay off betting on them because they've been screwing me, but I just feel like they're gonna have to like pick it up because they're a really solid team. Like that offense should be unstoppable.
Yeah, 45 points should be the norm.
I mean, the Falcons also look great. I mean,
Yeah,
granted
they're-
the Eagles
they're
suck, but the
showing
Falcons show they're the best. Right
on the
now.
road, they're a real team now.
Yeah.
They're not the Falcons of old.
Yeah, I mean, any other? I didn't even see the Monday night because of the
Yeah, I
hurricane.
lost power then too.
Yeah.
So let's move on to these next games. We have Thursday night.
Yeah.
We have the Chiefs at the Chargers.
Can you explain something to me?
Yeah.
Let me jump in real quick. Why is the NFL have the worst games ever on Thursday? Every week, it's the worst game.
The Thursday night slot gets the last selection after Monday night, Sunday night, and like the primetime Sundays.
No, it doesn't make sense though.
they
Like,
don't
the
they
games
get
are.
the last pick from
They couldn't get the last game out of all of
Fox
them.
and CBS. Yeah, I think they do.
I mean, it just the games are so bad every week, and it gets me so angry. Like I hate watching them, and there's nothing else on. So
Yeah,
I watch it.
they're pretty. I like the college games on Thursdays though. They have
Yeah.
some good games on college.
Yeah, they do. I mean, I'm more of an NFL guy, but like the way these games are, like these terrible games, like I don't even want to watch them. Like that Vikings game, like that was a terrible game
Well,
to watch.
regardless, the game's happening. Vegas is putting a number on it,
That's
so let's
true.
talk about it.
Let's do it. What are you thinking?
I have Chargers at 4.5 favorites.
Oof, a little low. I mean,
They look like crap against the Browns.
This
They
is what I'm
scored
saying. This
6
is what I'd
points.
say about it. The Chargers are a terrible, terrible team, but
Terrible.
the Chiefs are 50 times worse than that, and that's saying a lot.
Right.
And I mean, they're on the
with you
road,
so far.
and they're on the road.
Okay.
So I was thinking, I said 7, like a touchdown. Like I'm thinking, like as bad as the Chargers are, they have to beat up. This is a team that they beat up on. They need to get some wins because they're not as bad as the Chiefs,
Right.
and they're at home against them. And Vegas, they have it at 8.5. That's
Wow.
a ridiculously high number. But I would never ever bet on the Chiefs in any situation. I hate them. They're the worst team ever.
What I was thinking is that Chargers debacle from a few weeks ago against the Broncos is still kind of fresh in the public's mind.
Yeah,
but I guess
but-
people are forgetting that if the Vegas makes an 8.5 point favorite.
Yeah, I mean, I feel you on that, but
'Cause
it's
in
just
that
what
case-
about the Chiefs every week? Like just playing bad teams and losing
Just
every
getting
week.
killed.
Like they're playing like Oakland and like losing by like more than a touchdown. Like it's just they're probably if you had to pick the worst team in the NFL right now, could you come up with someone besides the Chiefs?
Jacksonville,
Fine.
easily. Hands
Okay.
down.
Yeah, well with the injuries, yeah, I'd say, but
Definitely Jacksonville.
I'd say the Chiefs are up there. I definitely say the Chiefs are top.
Up there or,
Well,
down,
you know what
down
I'm
there?
saying. You know what I'm saying.
Down there.
Yes, one of the worst 3. I'd say they're one of the worst 3 in the league. So yeah,
Okay,
I mean,
but nonetheless, they can still keep it within 8 points.
I
of the
understand, but
Chargers.
I don't think I can make a play on that game. It's too
So
terrible.
it
game.
was 8.5. What'd you have?
7. I said I had a touchdown. I thought it was a touchdown.
It's a lot of points.
Yeah,
man.
we were both pretty damn off
those
on that
Thursday
game.
night dogs.
We were really off on that game, both of us.
Those
Like,
Thursday night dogs kind of are pretty solid.
yeah, yeah.
8.5's a lot in division game, bro.
Yeah, I just hate the Chiefs as a team. I think they are just the worst team. But I don't know. That's a lot of points. I do agree with you on that.
How many wins do they have? 2 or 1?
They can't have more than one win.
They beat
And
the Chiefs,
No,
they beat
they
the
beat the Saints, and that was just the Saints collapsing. And I think the Saints are one of the worst 5 teams in the league. Also, I think they're actually terrible. Like their defense is by far the worst defense in the league, and their offense is mediocre now. It's not even as filthy good as it was before. Do you not agree? Like after that performance, who did they play?
Which team?
Saints.
The Saints just got destroyed
The
by
Broncos,
Denver.
yeah. Like their offense didn't even show up. They had that one touchdown like early, and then they just didn't do
Yeah.
anything. And they had a garbage touchdown late. Like they just didn't show up. They're not that great at all. I hate them. But yeah, so that's the
8
Thursday.
points is a lot, though.
I agree.
8.5
8.5 is a lot.
Let's move to Sunday.
Yeah, we're moving on to the ones on Sunday. We got speaking of Denver, we got Denver in Cincy.
Really cool game here.
Yeah, it is, and I mean Denver must be in the public's eye like
Great.
that team that
Great.
just shot up like from like mediocre to like
Everyone's
up there.
all over Peyton Manning.
Yeah. What'd you have?
I have Cincy +3.
I had Cincy +2.5, and it is 3. So you got
Yes, there we go.
that. Yeah.
Gorbachev's on the
There
board.
he is. But we were both right around there. I mean, that seems right about correct. Like that's what I'd say.
Yeah, you know that seems like the
that seems right where it should be.
standard consensus, right where it should
And
be.
we're back from our terrible Thursday predictions.
How's Cincy been on defensively?
Since he's like they're just not that good. Like they got smacked up by the Browns like 2 weeks ago or something, didn't they?
Yeah, they did.
But you know what? The Browns aren't as bad as everyone thinks.
They're
Like
not.
they really aren't. They've
They're
been
really
like
not.
they've been doing some.
I'm a Browns believer.
They just beat up on the terrible Chargers, or at least won that shootout, that 7-6 shootout.
7-6 shootout,
Yeah.
exactly.
All right, so moving on. Speaking of again, Baltimore in
no real
Cleveland.
lean there, right? No real
I
lean.
have no. Maybe Denver,
Maybe
but like
Denver.
that seems too public. Like it seems like everyone would be thinking Denver, and like they're road favorites now. Like
Teaser killer,
could be.
but the who? Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah,
Could be
next
a teaser
game we're
killer.
talking about Cleveland. Baltimore is in Cleveland.
Yeah, I like the. I think the Browns are going to be +4.5 here, and I like them.
I said 5.5.
Okay.
I was kind of, yeah. It was. I don't know. I really don't know what I was thinking about the game. It was 3.5. So you had that one too. I see it after when I saw the line after I guessed it. I said yeah. I agree.
You
like
think
I
too
think
high?
yeah. No, I think I
You were
was too
too
high.
high,
Yeah.
yeah.
I was just putting like this. The Ravens are a little banged up. They're not looking as good as they were early in the season. And the Browns, even when they played them 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago on that Thursday night game, they were
That was
within a
3
touchdown.
weeks ago.
Well, yeah, whatever. That
was a
Thursday
while
night game.
ago,
That was
yeah.
like week 2. Or
That
like
was
some,
at the Gremlins house.
yeah, week 2, I think. I think it was
A while
week
ago.
2.
It was before we left for London.
Yeah, obviously.
Well, yeah.
So yeah, you got that one also. Let me just put it in here.
If it's 3.5, I would take the Browns, but you know Ravens like Flacco and Rice
Yeah,
are
I
always
don't
they're
know.
always solid.
It's a tough
but
game. Like Brown, or even with the injuries, like Baltimore has the potential to just like be a good. They're a good team. They've been a constant playoff team, and the Browns obviously have not.
Yeah, but at home, you take the points here. I would say
I
it's
could
a tough
agree.
game.
It is a tough game. I mean, but people might be like getting in on the Browns, like realizing the Browns are like solid. Like they could just like flop. It's possible.
Did the weather conditions help that 7-6 game? I saw there was tweets about how windy and rainy it was, or the Browns defense actually holding Rivers and co to 6 points legitimate.
I mean, I didn't see much of the game, but I saw Trent Richardson's touchdown run that only scored in the game.
It was like a 26-yard run.
Yeah,
right?
it was an interesting run, and like the lineman like pushed him in the right direction, like after like I don't know, in the middle of the run. It was really wet. I could tell on that run. Like I could see they probably definitely affected it a little, but the Browns' defense is solid, and they probably did their job against Rivers and that overrated terrible team.
All right. What's next?
So next we got Arizona and Green Bay.
I'm not saying double digits here. I'm gonna say Green Bay -9.
Yeah, I went double digits.
You went high.
I went 10.5.
Too high.
It was 10, so I
was
got
10?
that. I was close.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, I think Green Bay is like actually they didn't show up really in Jacksonville at all, or like, at home against Jacksonville last
I was
week.
contemplating Jacksonville money line 7-1.
Yeah,
Just thinking why not? You know,
Didn't-
crazier things have
wouldn't
happened.
hit, but yeah,
It was close. It was looking close for a
yeah,
while.
they were in the game at the end, which is surprising to me. I mean, without without their only good player, like it seemed like that was prime for a beating right there.
Yeah.
But yeah,
So it's 10.
yeah, it's 10.
Arizona's a fraud. I think it's established now.
I've been saying it for weeks. I don't know if I've been saying it on the podcast.
on the record.
Yeah, but I definitely
Everything you say now is legitimate and recorded,
Yeah,
so
I mean,
you have to watch what you
I
say.
don't know if I said we could look back at it, but I just hate that team. I think they're terrible. I hate their offense. I
Frauds.
think they're just terrible. Like one of the worst offenses in the league.
They've given up I looked at their sacks. Their O line's
Oh,
given up
the O line's the worst in the league.
25 sacks in
It
the
is.
last 4 games.
Granted, they don't have a good quarterback who knows how to like count the time in his head. But
Going into the 49ers game, they gave up 21 sacks, and that's 3 games.
yeah,
So they gave up maybe 3 or 4 against the Niners.
Mhm.
Yeah, they should just throw down
I just
in
hate,
the Lambeau.
I hate Arizona. Like their defense is like mediocre. I'd say above average, but like I wouldn't say it's like amazing. And like after they had that fluky win against the Patriots.
Don't you wish the NFL used like a college system of rankings every week? Like the rankings change,
Well,
and then
they're
teams would be more likely to run it up on another team just for rankings.
Yeah,
like,
it's cool, but yeah.
this would be a game where
cool.
the Packers could win like 45-10. Just
they have like
just
power
to show
rankings,
the
which is
league.
obviously not as the same thing.
But it's not like as
a,
prestigious. It doesn't matter
yeah,
for anything.
Yeah, it's just like people like writers writing it.
Because if they did that for this game, I could see that being like a game where the Packers go out and try to
That's
just
interesting.
flex their muscle and score 45 points.
Yeah. So next we got Chicago and Tennessee.
I think this one's in the Vegas zone here. I took Tennessee at +5. I was thinking
Yeah,
right in the zone.
Well, I also have that. I have a little bit of a bias towards the Bears, and I know everyone's talking about how they really haven't shown up the last 2 weeks, maybe even. But I think Carolina's a scrappy team. Like they almost pulled out a win against the Falcons, like one of the better teams in the league. Like they've been in every game, and they're just getting like they're the most unlucky team I've ever seen. Maybe the
Tennessee?
Cowboys. No. I was saying
The Bears?
no, Carolina. Like
Wait, we're not talking
No,
about.
I know, but I was talking about Carolina playing the Bears last week. And the Bears pulled out like they were dominated that entire game, and but we're actually watching it right now.
You just switched like games mid.
No, because I was
I
talking
didn't
about
hear that transition.
no, I was talking about the Carolina Bears game last week and how the Bears like got dominated, but they still pulled out a scrappy win against like a scrappy team. And I thought that was
they didn't even
everyone
come close to covering 7.
No, I know. I was just saying, like,
Right.
the fact that they were able to come back when they looked dead in the water and not moving the ball at all, like, it kind of impressed me. Even though, like, everyone's saying, like, oh, they were terrible, they escaped a win with the team they should have beat up on.
Right.
I think, like, it was impressive. They showed a little backbone coming back in that game.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I'm a little biased on the Bears, so I said 6.
Well, you also have the futures to win the Super
know.
Bowl, so you could be biased on that front, too.
I am. I had said 6, which I was obviously high. It was 3.5, so we were both a little high. I kind of like the Bears in that game. I think Tennessee's kind of not great. I don't think Chris Johnson's back against the Bears defense. I don't see him doing that much at all.
Yeah, I could like them if they're under 4.
It is under 4, and I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know where I could see it moving. I mean, Tennessee is not that good a team. They really aren't.
They're really not.
I don't think they're a very good team at all. So like, I could
they
see
are a
Chicago
dark
beating
horse
them
for a wild card.
Yeah, and that really worries me, and the AFC is just not very good. So yeah, that's that game. Next we
I
got.
can't believe that's so low.
Yeah, I think that's way too low. I could see a little Bears play in my future.
That could be a public slaughterhouse, though.
It could, but like the Bears have Bears have underperformed the last 2 weeks. Like and they still won too the last 2 weeks. But like they gotta just come out and just really step up their game.
Okay.
It's
It's an interesting game.
Yeah,
I
we'll
think
see.
the Bears 3 or 3.5 is that.
3.5. Yeah, 3.5.
Maybe buy that half point down
Yeah.
to 3.
Yeah, I could see that. Next we got.
This is a really cool game. This next one.
I agree. Miami and Indy.
I wasn't even sure what to make of this spread.
Yeah, I
mean,
wasn't either.
Colts are at home, but I still think Dolphins are a slightly better team, so
Yeah.
I put it as a pick.
Yeah, I was in the same boat as you, but I really love Miami. I think they were really probably the most underrated team in the league.
Yeah,
I think
you liked them
I re-
against my Jets
Yeah,
last week.
I was spot on with my two locks of the week
That was
last
an
week.
awful,
The two dogs.
awful game.
Giants and
The Jets
Fins.
Miami game, that was
yeah.
so hard to watch.
Yeah, well, not if you had Miami like I did.
Yeah.
But yeah, I really think they're good. I love Miami, and I had them favored by 1.5. And it's 2.5. Miami's favorite.
Miami's
so.
favorite 2.5. So you
Yeah.
have the right kind of mindset
Yeah,
there.
that's pretty. It's kind of surprising to me. I mean, like I just did it because I liked them, but like I was even low on it, which surprises me. I guess it's like, you figure Indy's not a terrible team either, and they're at home here. What do you have any lean on that?
Yeah, Indy.
Yeah,
Big time revenge game for Vontae Davis. Big
Vontae.
time revenge. Getting traded on Hard Knocks.
Well, we also don't know who's starting for.
Humiliated on national TV.
We also don't know who's starting for. We think it's Tannehill right now. I think.
Wait, what do you mean?
Tannehill got hurt.
Oh,
but
Matt Moore's really not bad. He's
I know.
very, very competent backup.
Dude, I like my. I don't know. I don't know about with the points there. I mean, I'll see if it moves at all, but
I trust. Excuse me. I trust Luck at home there. I like the Colts actually.
yeah, it's tough. I like Miami as a team, so I don't want to bet against them. But I could lean the Colts. I'm gonna stay away from it. I think.
I think the Colts just get up at home, bring their A game.
Yeah, here's another cool game. Speaking of, we got the Cam Newtons at the Robert Griffins, Carolina and Washington. What do you think?
The battle of up-and-coming mobile black quarterbacks.
The two most compared quarterbacks to each other in the league right now.
For no reason.
Besides the fact that they're black and they scramble around.
I'm going to say Washington's -3.
I said the same thing. I did. And it was
we're off
4. We're up by
four?
a point. And, I mean, I was just thinking like a little lower because of the shellacking the Redskins took last week, but that was the first time they really were just knocked out of the game and just dominated.
I think I really like the Panthers here.
I think the Panthers are scrappy. Like
I think you can't give them 4 points.
I agree. I actually kind of agree, but yeah, I agree.
I think there's an ego thing on the line here between Cam and
the
Robert
Panthers.
Griffin. I don't think Cam's gonna go down easy in this game.
The Panthers are the most unlucky team. They have to get a win in a close game. One of these. They really have to get a win in one of those.
Did
games.
they beat Dallas or they lost to Dallas 2 weeks ago?
They've won one game. It was not against Dallas.
Yeah, they really have to win.
But they aren't that bad. Like they had the Falcons beat dead to rights, and they gave up a 60-yard pass from their own one.
Yep, that was the turning point of their season.
And I mean, they've been just downhill ever since. Like they just dominated the Bears and let the Bears come back on like a pick 6 where Steve Smith slipped, and then the Bears like came back and won that game.
Yeah, I think 4 is gonna be way too many.
I agree. I like Carolina.
I like Cam a lot
too.
there.
Yeah.
I'm gonna ride Cam.
Detroit and Jacksonville.
Big ego game. Detroit at Jacksonville. Jacksonville is the worst team in the NFL. I think.
Yeah,
I think Detroit's got to be. I think Detroit's got to be playing better than they have been throughout the season. I think Jacksonville's getting 3.5.
Yeah, you got it. I said 4.5. It's exactly 3.5.
Here we go.
Gorbachev. It's so low. I can't. The Jaguars are so bad. I feel like every game I pick on the Jaguars, I'm gonna be over by about a point. Just by they're just terrible.
But they always just they could play well too. It's just like, and Detroit on the road is such a that's such a game I would not touch.
Yeah, I agree. I wouldn't touch it
game
either because I don't like Detroit as a team either. But the Jags are just not a good team either.
Gun to my head, I'd take the Lions, but I wouldn't touch that game.
Yeah, I agree with you on that.
Where is Calvin Johnson in this here? It's really weird.
Yeah, he has 1 touchdown. That is one. That's the
and
most. That's maybe the halfway point. The most shocking thing about the year for me. That Calvin has 1 touchdown, 0 from Stafford. Right?
0 from Stafford.
1 from Sean Hill, 0 from Stafford. Just shocking.
Maybe they should start playing Sean Hill over
You think
Stafford.
a regression to the mean is in for the second half? You think Calvin explodes?
Like he's gonna have 2 touchdowns a game.
You think he puts up like seven minimum 7 touchdowns like the rest of the year, like almost 1 a game at least?
I think it's due. So I don't see what's stopping him other than Stafford actually sucking, like not sucking.
I mean, he looked. Everyone, I don't know, like I saw a lot of people like that really like I was reading like Roto World or something. Everyone was saying that Stafford's mechanics were terrible and he looked awful, like nowhere near like what he was doing last year. And I mean, he looked a little better against the solid Seattle defense last game.
He's definitely regressed this year.
I mean, yeah, well, obviously, and he doesn't look like himself at all. Like, I don't know. I'm not sold on the Lions, but I gotta expect Calvin to bounce back more than he has.
I'm not sold on the Lions on the road.
Yeah. Last 1 o'clock here. 2 teams coming off a bye. We got Buffalo in Houston.
Houston going to get back to their winning domination.
Well, you know Buffalo. They'll either pull out a ridiculous win, like by like somehow,
or just
lose by 30 or more. Like, isn't that like Buffalo's like thing?
It's kind of their MO. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I think Houston by 7 here. I think it's a fair
Oof.
line, maybe 7.5.
It's a 10.5.
I don't think it's that high.
Dude, it was 10, so I
Really?
got that one too. Houston is the best team in the AFC. Let's be honest. And Buffalo
you
is
think
not
they're better
good.
than the Jets?
Houston,
Yeah.
I think they're maybe a little bit better than the Jets. Yes.
All right. I bet they're third stringers better than the Jets or no?
Well, apparently not. I was at the Monday night game when they played each other, and they played their first stringers. The Jets looked good against them, but obviously still couldn't even win when they looked good.
I'm just kidding. They're
I know.
nowhere near.
Everyone knows you're kidding, but
I hope so.
yeah, anyone who watches football better know you're kidding. So yeah, that's the ones. What do you think? Not a good slate, not a great slate of ones in my opinion.
I would definitely tune into that.
Carolina,
Carolina,
yeah,
Washington.
I agree. That's the best game, but I don't like the games. Aren't they pretty like for like the? I feel like this is one of the worst 1 o'clock slates we've had in a couple weeks.
Yeah, 2 weeks ago was pretty bad.
Yeah, but yeah, I definitely agree with and I kind of like that Miami Indy game just because I'm a little curious about it. Like it's just like an interesting two interesting teams in my opinion.
Teams that are playoff dark horses. I would say.
I agree with that. I like that.
So
the winner of this game is a playoff dark horse.
The winner of that game, the Miami Colts game, could definitely sneak a wild card spot.
I agree, and I'm hoping Miami. I really like them this year. They're just I've been like silently riding them this year.
I like Houston in the blowout off that bye, actually.
I do too, and I think that's why I'm not surprised it's double digits at all. I mean, I just think Buffalo is one of those teams that can get rocked, and Houston is good, dude. They're
traditionally, that double-digit favorite in the NFL is a death trap, but I mean...
Yeah, it is. It's tough.
If you don't get scared by the points, you pick your spots. The blowouts do happen.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough playing double digits. I don't like doing it, but I could see a blowout. I really could see a blowout in that game. So, on to the fours now.
We got 3 fours this week, not 2.
Finally, a little bit more. And I feel like Oakland's always a 4. They're always like a 4. But we got Mini in Seattle.
Q West.
Yeah, Quest Field.
Q West Field, gonna be bumping.
Yeah, as always. What do you got?
Seattle -4.
I had 3.5. It was 5.
It's about time Vegas ups these lines in Seattle.
I agree, and I agree. I was a little low on it.
overdue.
And I think Seattle actually even covers 5, but it's in the Vegas zone, so I'm not loving it. But Seattle's gonna win this game. I'm almost like I'm very very certain of it. Like they're finally coming home. They're bound to have like one of those home game like romps where they just shut down the other team.
So you're gonna shut down your boy Peterson?
You can't shut down AP, but the rest of their team is. I guess Percy and AP are the only 2 people on offense, and like if you look at what the Bucks did, like those 2 like played pretty well. Both scored, both did well, but they shut down the rest of the team and dominated that game. I could see that kind of game in Seattle.
I think Seattle money line is definitely a safe play.
I agree. I agree with that completely. I really like Seattle.
I don't know about the 5 points.
Yeah,
I can see
agree.
them winning out a field goal.
Yeah, you never with Seattle. You don't want to lay a lot of points. It's always usually a close game with them. They can't really pull away from teams. They don't have that potential.
Yeah,
but yeah, I don't love the points, but I agree that money line's a pretty safe play. We're both in agreement.
In concordance.
Yep. So next we have Tampa in Oakland.
My man Josh Freeman. I have Oakland +3.
I had Oakland +2, and apparently Oakland's favored. I'm still trying to understand.
Way.
I don't get. Maybe I heard it wrong. Like I'm gonna look this up right now. I can't fathom that.
Oakland's favored.
That they're favored. I'm pretty sure
that
Oakland's
is
favored.
my play of the year right there.
Oakland's not good, but I guess
if Tampa's
looking great right now too.
It is tough to play in Oakland. I know that. But
I don't care. I mean, that's shocking that they're favored.
Well,
it is. It's 1.5. That's there, but it's 1.5. That's what it's. Oakland
what's his name? Got
-1.5.
suspended this year too. The guy passing around Adderall in the locker room.
Yeah, the 2 corners both getting suspended for Adderall.
Akib and Eric Wright.
And this is the 1 week they're both going to miss, I think.
That's huge, actually. Eric Wright's been playing great this year.
Yeah, they have no cornerbacks. I didn't really think
Eric
about that,
Wright
but
did that
it just shocks me that Oakland's favored against a Tampa team that's looked really, really good and in sync the last few weeks.
Oakland looks not so bad themselves. I think, what's his name?
Receiver, Janarius Moore?
No, the running back.
Darren McFadden.
Yeah, McFadden.
Yeah, good, interesting.
D-Mac. He just went off last week. He did, right?
He did better. He's been struggling this year, and he had a better week last week than he has in a while. But he really hasn't.
Those injuries on defense worry me. Otherwise, I would say I love Tampa this week.
Yeah, I mean, it shocks me that Oakland's favored. I really, when I saw that, I was pretty shocked. Definitely.
That's going to be one of those games where it's like 80-20 public on the Tampa.
Mm-hmm.
Bad sign.
Yeah, I could. I mean, both
If
of us
Oakland pulls off.
initially think like Tampa should be favored in that game. Like,
Yeah.
Vegas must want people to bet on them. Like, they must. Opening that.
It's got to be those injuries. There's no other reason.
Any suspensions or
The suspensions. Yeah. There's no other way to explain why this spread is what it is.
Yeah. So the last game is the best game of the Sunday, I'd say. Pitt Giants, Steelers Giants.
I'm looking forward to this game a lot.
Definitely.
And I do like a particular side, but I also think the Giants are 2.5 point favorites.
Yep. I said 3.5, and I got it. It's 3.5.
Wow. Load me up on the Steelers.
Yeah?
Hell yeah. Catching a 3.5.
The Steelers are playing really well right now, and the Giants are a better road team. I don't like betting against the Giants. I
don't like betting against Eli. You're right.
Even though they played terribly last week, they still won and covered for me, thank God. But they can win. The Giants can beat any team any week, no doubt in my mind. They're one of those teams that has the potential to win any game, any week. And Pittsburgh's been playing really well too, so I really don't know what I can't even really lean anything here. I don't know what to think.
The Giants' defense just isn't good. And I think the Steelers' offense is just going to shred them up. And it's the same thing you could say about Eli.
Dallas did that to them last week.
Exactly. And the same thing you could say about Eli. Like, you don't want to bet against Eli. You want big bet on your team.
You're right. But
I always like having big bet on my team. And you're catching 3.5 points.
I just don't like betting against the Giants. I don't. It scares the hell out of me.
That's why I thought this would be 2.5. I thought they'd get nice 50-50 split on people think the Giants are going to win by 3, or people like the Steelers.
Yeah, I see.
Maybe it'd be 3, but 3.5. Like, if that extra half point,
that is a pretty big
huge.
half point. I agree.
That's a huge half point.
I don't think I could lay 3.5 in the game, but I really think I don't know. I think the Giants will win it. I do.
But the Giants always have those games where they just shit the bed. Also,
they do, but they also step up in games where they're like, oh, if anyone thinks that they could lose the game, those are the kind of games the Giants just come out and romp a team that a good team.
Pittsburgh also needs this more for the division and for their own record.
I guess, but they are playing better, and I really do think that we were talking about this a little bit before. We both kind of agree the Steelers could take that division, right?
Yeah, they could take the division down a game.
I mean, they just look good, and Baltimore has their problems. We know that.
Yeah, if it's 3.5, I definitely like Pittsburgh.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm definitely watching that game, but we'll see how I feel a little later in the week, I guess. So we got the Sunday night game. After that, just devastating loss again, which
for Dallas
every week. Yeah, Dallas in Atlanta. They get to go prime time to the undefeated team in the league. That's always fun.
They're undefeated still.
Yeah, 7-0
at home.
At home
in the Georgia Dome,
where they stomp out
the Dirty
teams.
Birds, the Georgia
Dome.
Dome.
Where they stomp out teams at home.
Absolutely madhouse Sunday night. I think Falcons are 4.5 point favorites, but I could be low.
It's exactly that. That's a very impressive guess. I said 7, and I absolutely love Atlanta. I think Dallas isn't good.
Too.
I mean, they played well against the Giants, and they probably should have won that game, but Atlanta is very, very good. They just killed the Eagles. Andy Reid off his bye week. Everyone was 13-1. Romped.
Love them.
Romped.
Like them at home.
Love them at home. I think Atlanta. I mean, they're gonna lose eventually. I just don't think Dallas is that team, and I love Atlanta. That's my play of the day.
How about a little Kman and Gorbachev, Seattle Seahawks, and Atlanta Falcons moneyline parlay?
I could.
I like that.
We both like that. I could see that. Maybe we have to put that in. I like that.
I like that one.
I can't believe you hit that line exactly. I thought you'd be higher. I couldn't see anyone hitting that. That's such a low number in my opinion. Why would Atlanta, who's always been known as a great home team, and this year the best team in the league right now. Why are they only a little bit more than a field goal favorite against a team that's underachieved all year?
They couldn't make it.
Can you explain that to me?
Because Dallas actually looked pretty good last week,
Although they lost. But I think that's
and if they made it anything higher than 5 or around 6 or 7, the Sharps would have just pounded Dallas.
But
way too many points for a good offense.
I just think Atlanta's gonna I think Atlanta wins by more than a touchdown. I really do. I really do think that. So
their defense isn't amazing though.
It's still solid, and they're at home. That's a huge thing.
Yeah,
they're so good at home in that dome. They're so good there.
Wait, it says limited practice. Eric Wright, Achilles. I thought he was suspended.
Yeah, he might have appealed it, but I'm not. He definitely was suspended. He could have appealed
We'll
it.
have to check that stats if we look at this.
I know he was suspended. I know he was.
Right.
But yeah, so you guys might want to look into that. If if they have one of those corners playing, because Talib's suspension's coming up, or it's almost up.
Right.
It might be one more game. If they have any of those corners playing, I feel like Tampa would
Eric
be pretty
Wright's
solid
better
play.
though. They're both pretty good.
Talib's pretty solid. I mean, they're both good corners. They're a very good cornerback.
Yeah, Eric Wright had that amazing pick against Eli,
Mm-hmm.
and then he was moving all left and right and juking people, and then returned it 60 yards.
Yeah,
that was an awesome play.
Yeah. So then we got the last game. After that really cool Sunday night game we both like, Philly, New Orleans, the battle of the two most underachieving teams in the league this year.
It's a fair statement.
Yeah, I mean both these teams.
Detroit could be in that game too.
Both these teams are just not very good. They're just not good teams. Right?
Yeah.
I can't say enough about how bad the Saints defense is.
Out of those, I like that's the best, the underachieving teams. The Eagles, Saints, definitely the leaders there.
Yeah.
This is a tough game to pick the spread.
Yeah,
I really have no idea, but
yeah, I was pretty much in the same place as you right there. I mean, I had 2.5. And I was just thinking home team a little love. I
2.5, which way?
The Saints favored. I had the Saints favored just because they're home, but I hate making them favored because I think they suck. But the Eagles suck too, so I mean it's really a pick your poison, right? I want to make
the Saints a favorite at home, but they just suck.
Pick your poison. They both suck.
I said Saints plus 1.5.
Oh wow. It's Saints minus 3.5, and I'm shocked that they get this much love after the amount of disgusting games they've put up this year. So I mean, you seem to be leaning Philly there.
Yeah, I don't know.
Vic's playing for his job.
That seems
Vic's playing for his job.
Such a gift. Yeah, I know.
And this defense is a great defense to play for your job against.
You're getting 3.5 points.
If I had to pick a team in this game, I'd pick Philly with you. I agree with you completely. I mean, I just think the Saints are just not good. And I mean, I could see LaShawn McCoy is one of the best running backs in the league. Yeah, I think they're gonna. I mean, Vic's gonna. I think he's gonna have a good game. He needs to have a good game. And LaShawn McCoy is amazing. I love watching him. Can you explain to me why Andy Reid just doesn't give him the ball? It doesn't make sense to me. He doesn't give him the ball enough. If you have such a good player on your team, I want him touching the ball 25 times a game, easy.
Yeah, he kind of just doesn't treat him right, I would say.
Yeah.
I don't know why McCoy isn't trying to get out of there.
They just don't give him the ball enough, and he's
what's he getting?
so
15
good.
Carries a game should be.
I just feel like every
20,
time I just feel like every time I check, I'm watching an Eagles game, it's a bad play first down, and then I don't know, they just don't use McCoy. They should be on first down trying to pound the ball, get some yards, make it easier for Vic and that offense to move the ball. I feel like they're just not calling good plays. Reid just sucked. I really hate Andy Reid. I think he's a terrible coach. Reid and Norv Turner both.
I'd like to see Nick Foles get in this game. I think he's really good.
I don't think he's gonna get in this game because
he's probably not going.
I'll tell you why.
Like
because they said they're gonna stick with Vic in this game, and I can't see Vic not doing well against this defense. I mean, any quarterback in the league could do well against this defense.
I was wondering if you took every opponent the Saints played this year and took their team total over.
You must hit most.
You have to be undefeated or maybe one or two losses.
I'd say maybe one loss. They could have had one of those
I don't think the Packers went over.
That's what I was thinking of. I think so. I think it was really close. It was very close.
When Graham Harrell fumbled on the 1 yard line,
yeah,
that sealed the deal. But
yeah, but yeah, it was very close. They could have easily gone over. I think that would have been a good play all year.
So maybe the Eagles get I could see them losing 31-34 here.
The Eagles?
Yeah. It's also a big test for the new defensive coordinator on the Eagles. What's his name?
Yeah.
The guy who's taking over Juan Castillo. But
yeah.
Maybe that's kind of factors into the 3.5 point favorite, and the Superdome will be bumping.
I really think I'm gonna play the Eagles in this game. The Saints they really
it's gonna be
impress me in a bad way.
It's gonna be a public.
It's impressive how bad they are. What, the Eagles?
Yeah.
I don't know about that. I guess everyone's like hasn't accepted the fact that the Saints are not good anymore. It's tough. It's tough. Yeah. So I guess is that it?
Well, what do we like? Do we like any dogs this week? Let's go through.
Any live dogs?
What live dogs we have cooking here? Well, we have we like Cleveland. We said.
Yeah, I don't love it, but yeah, I could see that.
Indy's a slight dog. I think they have a shot to win.
Yeah, that's another top. Are there any like very good they're dogs that we really like? Maybe Tampa, if we can even count them as a dog. Like, we'll see what the situation is there, and Philly maybe.
What about Cincy?
I don't know. I don't have a great read on that game. I don't know.
I wonder if Cincy pulls it off.
Yeah, I mean, you think you like them?
It's tough to go against Peyton.
I mean,
he's heating up.
I really do think that Philly is a good live dog. I do.
All right. Well, another good week. Kman.
Yep. Survived the hurricane. That's nice.
Survived the hurricane. I think that's it for this week. Be heading out. Good luck to you and your wagers this week, everyone out there.
See y'all next week.
See you next week.